Hey everyone, here's another example from section 2.2, finding the limit as b approaches 6. We've got a little bit different function here. We're going to check this expression here by plugging in 6 to see if we get a domain error. So if we plug in 6, we can see automatically right away. When we plug in 6, we'll get 6 minus 6 on the bottom. That's going to give us 0. We can't divide by 0, so we know that we need to do some algebraic manipulation with this problem to basically rewrite it in a way so that we can evaluate the function as b approaches 6. So first thing I'm going to do is write this out. We're going to say limit as b approaches 6. And I really want to get rid of this denominator, and I got to figure out how I'm going to do that. So the first thing I would do is I'd combine these things on top. So I'm going to find a common denominator of the stuff on top. So I'm going to say 1 over b minus 1 over 6 over b minus 6 is I'm going to multiply this by 6 over 6. And we'll multiply this by b over b and get a common denominator there. So that's going to give 6 over 6b minus b over 6b. And that's still divided by b minus 6. And so that'll give, when I combine these together, that's going to give 6 minus b on top over 6b, because we're just subtracting there, same denominator, over b minus 6. You can see that on the top part of this, if you notice, this is pretty close to the same as what this is. I can actually take a negative 1 out of this, and I would get close to this, but I'm not going to do that just yet because I have this divided by b minus 6. Remember, when I take a fraction, I divide another fraction, so this is really over 1. I can write that as 6 minus b over 6b times 1 over b minus 6. So then what we can see here is if we factor out a negative 1 here, so I'm going to do that, so I get negative 1, that's going to change this to now negative 6 plus b over 6b, and that's going to be times 1 over b minus 6. And you'll see that we have b minus 6 here. This is b minus 6 here. This is going to cancel with this. And that's going to leave negative 1 over 6b times 1 over, that's really just 1 over 1. So then I can just write that as negative 1 over 6b. And now I can actually evaluate this. So I plug 6 in here, because that's my limit. Plug 6 in here. That's going to give me negative 1 over 36. So my limit as b approaches 6 is negative 1 over 36.